What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be going over my 2021 NFL Draft Big Board. I'm doing a top 50. This is all positions included. Um, and yeah, I'm not going to sit here and talk about each individual player on this list. One, that'd be a long as hell video. Two, I've talked about all these guys multiple times at this point. I have videos individually on every single one of them. Most of them should be out by now. If not, they will be out before the draft. And also, I've done position rankings with all of these players in it. So there's really no point in me going over my thoughts on each individual one. If I find anything interesting, I'll say it. Hopefully, y'all can see this okay. I had to make the font small to kind of make it fit. But it is what it is. So, number one, I've got Zach Wilson, quarterback out of BYU. Number two, I've got Trevor Lawrence, quarterback out of Clemson. Three, Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. Four, Rashawn Slater, tackle out of Northwestern. Five, Penei Sewell, tackle / guard out of Oregon. Six, Jalen Waddle, wide receiver out of Alabama. Seven, Devontae Smith, wide receiver out of Alabama. Eight, Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State. 9, JOK, linebacker / strong safety out of Notre Dame. 10, Jamar Chase, wide receiver out of LSU. 11, Kwity Paye, edge rusher out of Michigan. 12, JC Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. 13, Jalen Phillips, edge out of Miami. Now, in my edge rusher rankings, I did have Jalen Phillips over Kwity Paye, and I do think he is the better player. But the reason he is a little bit lower on the board is because of those health concerns. That's why. So 14, Kelvin Joseph, cornerback out of Kentucky is 14. Azeez Ojulari is 15, edge rusher out of Georgia. 16 is Nick Bolton, linebacker out of Missouri. 17 is Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. 18, Tevin Jenkins, tackle out of Oklahoma State. 19, Ronnie Perkins, edge rusher out of Oklahoma. 20, Peyton Turner, edge out of Houston. 21, Elijah Vera Tucker, tackle out of USC. 22, Dylan Radunes, tackle out of North Dakota State. 23, Landon Dickerson, center out of Alabama. 24, Mac Jones, quarterback out of Alabama. 25, Carlos Basham, defensive end out of Wake Forest. 26, Austin Watkins, wide receiver out of UAB. 27, Trey Lance, quarterback out of North Dakota State. 28, Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State. Patrick Surtain is 29, cornerback out of Alabama. 30, Greg Newsome, quarterback out of Northwestern. 31, Richie Grant, free safety out of UCF. 32, Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota. 33, Caleb Farley, cornerback out of Virginia Tech. Deontay Brown is 34, guard out of Alabama. Now, he is someone that's probably going to be a little bit surprising to a lot of big boards. I don't think he's going to be on everyone's big board just because he is a guard, but I think he's amazing, so he's there. And here is where my slew of running backs really are. It's a bunch of running backs in a row. We got 4 of them. So 35, Najee Harris out of Alabama, running back. Travis Etienne is 36, running back, Clemson. 37 is Javonte Williams, running back out of North Carolina. 38, Michael Carter, running back out of North Carolina. So I have 4 running backs all back to back. Following that up is 39, Ardarius Washington, free safety out of TCU. After that, 41, Hamza Nazirudeen, strong safety out of FSU. Then Dwayne Eskridge, wide receiver out of Western Michigan. Then at 43, we've got Christian Barmore, defensive tackle out of Alabama. 44, we've got Javon Morig, free safety out of TCU. 45, Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. 46, Creed Humphrey, center out of Oklahoma. 47, Tyree Gillespie, strong safety out of Missouri. 48, Kylan Hill, running back out of Mississippi State. 49, Levi Onwuzurike, defensive tackle out of Washington. And 50 is Tyler Shelvin. Now, Again, this is where this is one I do have to talk about is Tyler Shelvin being number 50 on the list. Because in my defensive tackle ranking, Aleem McNeil is rated higher than Tyler Shelvin, and in general, I do think that he will fill a role better for most teams. Just because he can give you a little bit of pass rush, so he can play one tech and zero tech. So that is what put him above him in the position ranking. But if you just tell Tyler Shelvin to just sit in A gap and block people, he will do that job better than Aleem McNeil or really anybody on the list because he's not going to get moved. So depending on how you use him, he can be better than Aleem McNeil. It's just that Aleem McNeil, you don't have to plan around as much. So that's why Aleem McNeil is higher on the defensive tackle list, but Tyler Shelvin is on my big board, and Aleem McNeil just barely missed. So that's the explanation there. Is there anything else I really want to talk about? I mean, Kyle Pitts at 3, I think makes sense. The receivers, you know what? I could talk about the quarterbacks being low. When I say quarterbacks, I mean Mac Jones and Trey Lance. So obviously, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Fields are going to be up high. I'm really big on those. Mac Jones, I think 24 makes a lot of sense for him. I think he can be a solid player, but I don't think he really has the high ceiling that a lot of these guys have. I've talked about that. And Trey Lance is just a little bit raw right now, so that's kind of why they're lower. But they're still in the first round range. And keep in mind, too, this is not a mock draft. This is a big board. So I'm not saying that this would be where people will be drafted. It's just, it's a big board of who I like. That's all it really is. I have a bigger version of this with everybody I've watched, but I'm not going to show all that because it's not as well thought out yet. I'm probably not going to do a video on that. Because after the top 50, it kind of starts getting convoluted anyway. And it kind of just turns into what you prefer in a player than who is actually better than somebody. So that's why I think a top 50 is pretty good. I probably will do a first round mock draft that'll probably come out either the night before the draft or the morning of the draft, one or the other. I'm not sure. I'm not even really sure when I'm going to release this. I might do it shortly after all the position rankings are out, or I may release it the night before the draft, and then I'll do the mock draft in the morning. I guess you'll know that when this comes out. But let's see. Is there anything else I really want to say? You know what? Yeah, actually. So, as of recording this is it's April 10th, and I just want to. This is totally away from football. It has nothing to do with it. DMX passed away of a drug overdose yesterday, and I just want to kind of comment on that. First, I want to say rest in peace. I hope I hope that the people around him can recover quickly. DMX was a big part of growing up for me. I listened to a lot of DMX, especially in high school. So it did hurt. I mean, first of all, him being in prison for as long as he was, and then get out, and then shortly after die of a drug overdose. That really is really rough. I wish the people around him could have helped him more, but then again, you don't really want to say that too much either, because at the end of the day, it's on you to stop that type of thing. You can't be helped unless you want to be helped. So, but I just wanted to comment on that. But anyway, I think this list is, I don't think I really have too much else to say. I mean, I've done the position rankings on all these positions. Um, this is just where I have them in relation to each other. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on it. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.